having fun.
Most people like it better. I mean, when I go and meet the sci-fi friends, they go, thank you so much for being part of the Orville. We love it so much better than Star Trek.
Good morning. Congratulations to both of you on the new season of The Orville. I got to watch a few episodes and I'm really excited to talk to you about it today.
Thank you.
Why don't we start? I know you guys can't get into too many plot details, but give us a little flavor about where both of your characters are at the outset of the season and a little bit about where they're headed.
Well, I'm at the end of season 2. Claire is truly distraught because she's been betrayed by someone that she's given her all to, and she's invited into her life and her children's lives. And so when we pick up on that in the premiere episode, it is, conflicting of how to bring him back into the fold, or if in fact to bring him back into the fold. And so I think Claire's arc is dealing with that and how he's affected her children, and we're in for a great ride.
Yeah, you are. I think all of the characters are really dealing with the conflict, the inner struggle of ethically, is it okay to have Isaac on board? And I think every single person has a different version of that. I feel like Kelly's probably a little bit more open to it. She's grown into this massive, like, empathetic, mothery, maternal person. And I think that she just wants to take care of everybody and make everybody happy. And it's a very big job. So like, that's really, you're going to see her evolution that way this season. And it's going to inform a big, big story arc with another character on the show.
Yeah. For both of you, do you have like a moment, maybe it's probably something behind the scenes since you can't get into too much of what happens in the season, maybe something behind the scenes about maybe an experience with a cast member or something that just, when you look back on having shot this season, something you'll really remember as like, oh, that's the thing that I remember about working on this season.
Oh, that is loaded. Because there are so many moments behind the scenes, because we are invested as these characters, that which you guys see, but we are invested as friends on the outside of that, the other side of that coin. And what friends do, we laugh, we joke, we drink, we dance, we yell, we scream, we play, we do all of that. And so I can remember that this didn't happen behind the scenes, but it's during COVID, and it's the first time that we had a gathering, and it was I don't know, it was like a game to see who was actually going to show up because of scary COVID. And those who mattered showed up. It was a cast member's birthday and we showed up, and it was so much love there. And remember, we were dancing, sister. Oh my gosh, it was just, and it felt so wonderful. I will never forget it, because it was all as though we all took our first breath together.
Finally exhale.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, so much has happened on the show. Hey, Penny, do you remember in the beginning of the season when I married Scott and then we got divorced?
Yeah, I remember that one. I got on a plane. The only one on the plane.
We're still best friends, just so you know. We can laugh about that. But it is pretty funny. That all happened within one season.
Yeah.
Very long.
Oh my gosh, that was one season. Oh. You've been married more than me.
So you guys have gotten, I mean, obviously Seth MacFarlane wears so many different hats on the show. What's something that you'll remember about working with him? Maybe a piece of advice about your character, or career advice, or just something that you remember about working with Seth on the show that gives us a flavor of what he's really like.
Well, one thing about Seth is that he does wear many hats, but he is very clear about what he doesn't know. And that takes a really smart person and a person who's, feeling okay in their own skin to say, I'm not sure about this, but, and that's one thing, my takeaway with Seth is that he's really good at what he doesn't know, to be able to identify that. But he knows a dang lot. I mean, oh my God, it's freaking brilliant. But for someone to be able to, expose themselves and that nakedness of not knowing, I think is like just so honorable to me.
It's true. I mean, he's very specific. He knows exactly what he wants. He sees things happening, but for example, when Penny and I get together to do a scene, which are some of my favorite scenes on the show that I get to do, our girl talk will evolve, you know what I mean? And we'll even talk to her, we'll be like, well, we would do this and we wouldn't do that. And he's like, you guys do you. Like, I trust it implicitly. Like, I can't tell you what you guys would be doing. So have fun. And I think that informs a really fun relationship between the two of us. But that's something he's kind of like, to piggyback on what you were saying. Like, he's like, I don't know so much about the gal conversation, so I'm going to trust you over here. Let's do that.
So Penny, I know you were on Deep Space Nine. I'm curious how this experience compares to that. And for you, Adrianne, maybe talk a little bit about how you think the show is unique in this genre, and what really differentiates it.
Well, working on Deep Space Nine was truly a gem, and Avery and I are just a match made in heaven. And so that relationship was just wonderful. But the biggest difference between working on the Orville as opposed to Deep Space Nine is that the Orville is not rigid. And I say that specifically. On set, we're free to be ourselves. Again, we laugh, we joke, but we do the work. On Deep Space Nine, the set was not that way. The atmosphere was not that way. It was like doing Shakespeare, with these thespians who just took themselves so freaking seriously. And that's what you did. You dotted your I's, you crossed your T's. Now on the Orville, we dot out our I's and we cross our T's, but we have fun. We don't veer, we don't go away from what's on the page. And that's the similarity. Now the similarity is that we have a lot of Trekkie people who are around. And so they know the deal of this world and how it is. But the biggest difference truly is the atmosphere. And that is what counts, because that sets the tone, and it gives the license to actors or those people behind the scenes to be a contributor in the project. And that was not, Deep Space Nine, it's Mr. Brooks, not with me, but it was very like this. Here it's like, hey, Seth, what up? I mean, Jay Lee would come, well, he'd say something more than that, but there's a difference, and that's the leadership that you,
and the content too. I mean, the content, I think the show's always been unique in the sense that, that little comedy element really shifts this and how it's evolved into something that critics were like, I don't know what it is, for a bit. And here we are, and the show's now critically acclaimed, and it does separate itself from the pack of like Star Trek or Deep Space Nine or anything like that because of that subtle comedy, but it also is reflected by who we are as people and having fun.
Most people like it better. I mean, when I go and meet the sci-fi friends, they go, thank you so much for being part of the Orville. We love it so much better than Star Trek. And, I have to receive that, and I'm part of this Star Trek franchise. But
more the Shatner version of Star Trek, which people want. So.
Yeah, it's our own, like you said. It's truly our own.